Good morning students, this is Physics, class 11th, chapter number 3 and lecture number 5. In this lecture, we will be studying about equation of kinematics. Okay, so let us start with the first equation of kinematics, which is called velocity-time relation. Okay, students, we will be using the formulas of differentiation and integration in these equations, which I have told you in the last lecture. Okay, so before starting the derivation, let me tell you all these equations of kinematics are valid only when acceleration is constant. That is, you can say all these are valid for uniformly accelerated motion. So value of acceleration, that is a, is always constant for these equations. Okay, so now you know a is equals to dv by dt. That is acceleration is equals to velocity, change in velocity upon time interval. Okay, now if I cross multiply, so I'll get a dt is equals to dv, and then I am integrating both the sides. Okay, so here as you can see dt is there, so therefore this integration will have limits of t, and I am taking limits of time to be 0 to t. Similarly here is velocity, so I am taking the limits of velocity to be u and v. That is, at time t is equals to 0, velocity is u, and time t equal to t, the velocity is v. Okay, now you all of you know how to solve this integration. As I have told you, acceleration is constant, so it will come out of the integration. So integration of dt is nothing but t, and then limits are from 0 to t. Okay, here integration of dv is v, limits are from u to v. Okay, so now a will remain as it is. When you will put the limits t minus 0, that will be t. Similarly here, when you will put the limits upper limit minus lower limit, so that will become v minus u. Okay, so this will become v minus u is equals to at. So this equation is nothing but velocity time relation. Okay, so the second equation is position time relation. For this, we'll use the formula v is equals to dx by dt. Okay, you know this very well, that velocity is displacement upon time. Now again, if I cross multiply and integrate both the sides, so I'll get integration of v dt, integration of dx. Again, I'm putting the limits of time 0 to t and distance from x1 to x2. Okay, so x1 is the distance at 0 seconds, and x2 is the distance at t seconds. Okay, so now again, from the first equation we know v is equals to u plus at, so I am just putting value of v here. V is u plus at, dt will remain as it is, integration 0 to t is equal to integration of dx x1 to x2. Okay, so now as you know, this is the addition, so we will get two integrations, that is integration of u dt plus integration of at dt is equals to integration of dx. Limits are same as we have written here. Okay, so now integration of that will be this, because integration of u dt, because u is constant, integration of dt will come to be t, plus a is constant, it will come outside, and integration of t dt will be t square upon 2. So you will get ut plus half at square is equals to x2 minus x1. We have put limits here. Okay, so if I considered x2 minus x1 to be s, that is the time distance traveled s. So from here we will get s is equals to ut plus half at square. Okay, so this is your position time relation. Okay, next third one is position velocity relation. For this we will be taking the formula a is equals to dv by dt. Now if I multiply and divide by dx, then I will get dv by dt into dx upon dx. So if you see clearly, dx by dt, this is nothing but v, that is distance upon time. So v and dv by dx. So a has become v dv by dx. Now again I'll cross multiply and integrate. So a dx will be equal to v dv, and putting the limits from 0 to s and u to v. Okay, so u is initial velocity, v is final velocity. Again, now you can easily integrate it. A is constant, it will come outside. Integration of dx will be x, but when you will put limit, so it will come s. Similarly, integration of v dv will be v square upon 2, and limits are from u to v. On solving it, you will get v square upon 2 minus u square upon 2, that is upper limit minus lower limit. So this will become v square minus u square is equals to 2as. So this is your position velocity relation. Okay, so now we have derived all the three equations, that is v minus u is equals to at, second is s is equals to ut plus half at square, and third is v square minus u square is equals to 2as. Okay, so the next derivation is distance traveled in nth second. Okay, so this is not distance traveled in n seconds, this is distance traveled in nth second. Okay, so that is, for example, if I want to, if some object is covering 5 meters, let's say, and if I want to know what is the distance covered in first 1 second, then this formula will be used, which will be driving. Okay, so this is the distance travel in any particular second. Okay, so let us suppose u is the initial velocity and a is the acceleration. Okay, Sn is the distance traveled by the object in n seconds. Okay, for example, if n is 10, that means distance traveled by object in 10 seconds. And Sn minus 1 is distance traveled by object in n minus 1 seconds. That is, if I am taking n to be 10, this is distance in n seconds and this is distance traveled in 9 seconds. Okay, now we are taking dn to be distance traveled in nth second. Okay, so now we can write down dn is equals to Sn minus Sn minus 1. That is, see, this is the distance traveled in n seconds, or we can say, let's say n is 10 seconds. This is the distance traveled in 9 seconds. If I subtract them, I will get the distance traveled between 9 to 10 seconds. That is, for that 1 second I'll get the distance. So dn is the distance traveled between n to n minus 1 seconds. Okay, so that is distance traveled in nth second. Okay, so as you know from the equations that we have derived, s is equals to ut plus half at square. So we'll be using that formula because here s is the distance traveled in n seconds. So instead of t, we'll be using n. So ut, that is un plus half an square minus and Sn minus 1. So instead of t, you will take n minus 1. ut, that is n minus 1 plus half a n minus 1 whole square. Okay, now just open the brackets, un plus half an square minus un plus u, and you can solve this also. Just solve this square and then negative term, you will get this. Okay, so common terms will cancel out, un will cancel out. Okay, and your half an square will also cancel out. So you will get u minus a by 2 plus an. Okay, u minus a by 2 plus an. If I take a common from these two, so u plus a is taken common, so you will be left with n minus 1 by 2. Or I can write it down as, if I take 2 also common, then dn will come to be u plus a by 2, 2n minus 1. Okay, or you can say, if you divide and multiply by 2, if I divide by 2, 1 2 will remain here, so this is that 2, and if I multiply 2 by here, it will become 2n, and if I multiply 2 by here, it will become 1. Okay, so this is the distance traveled in nth second, which is u plus a by 2 into 2n minus 1. Okay students, now I'll discuss the solutions of the questions that were given to you in lecture number 3. Okay, so first question was question number 5. The question says, a jet airplane traveling at the speed of 500 km per hour ejects the products of combustion at the speed of 1500 km per hour relative to the jet plane. Okay, now you know, if suppose I am taking velocity of airplane to be in this direction, so the project ejected by that will be in opposite direction. This you have seen in practicals or real life also, that when airplane is traveling in this direction, its products will be ejected in opposite direction. So if this is the direction of airplane, this will be the direction of products. Okay, so VA is given to be 500 km per hour in question, and relative velocity of P with respect to A is given to be 1500 km per hour. See, if I am taking this direction to be positive, then that means the velocity of products will be negative. So therefore I am taking negative sign here, because velocity of products is in opposite direction to that of airplane. Okay, now again the question says, what is the speed of the letter with respect to the observer on the ground? That is, we have to calculate the velocity of products. Now you know the formula of relative velocity when the two objects are traveling in opposite direction, VPA, which is VP minus VA. Now you know VPA also and you know VA also. So calculate VP from here. So VP will come to be VPA plus VA. So it will come to be minus 1000 km per hour. So it shows you that, the negative sign shows you that the velocity of the products is in opposite direction. Okay, so the next question is question number 14. Okay, so the question says if there is a man who walks from his home to market, which is 2.5 kilometer away, and he travels with a speed of 5 kilometer per hour. Okay, when he reaches there, he found that the market is closed, and therefore he returned back to his home with a speed of 7.5 kilometer per hour. Okay, so the question is asking what is the magnitude of the average velocity and average speed of the man over the interval 0 to 30 minutes, 0 to 50 minutes, and 0 to 40 minutes. So to calculate that, first of all, let us calculate the time taken by him to go from home to market, and then time taken by him for coming from market to home. Okay, so as you know, time is distance upon speed. Okay, so for going from home to market, distance is 2.5 kilometers and speed is 5 kilometer per hour. So when you will divide them, you will get half hour, or you can say 30 minutes. So that means for time taken by the man for going from home to market is 30 minutes. Okay, now similarly to calculate time for going from market to home will be 2.5 upon 7.5, because this time speed is 7.5. Okay, when you will calculate it, you will get half 1 by 3 hour, or you can say 20 minutes by just multiplying by 60. Okay, so that means total time taken for him for going to market and coming back is t1 plus t2, that is 1 by 2 plus 1 by 3, uh, or you can say 5 by 6 hours, or you can say 50 minutes if I just multiply it by 60. Okay, now we will start with the question. So first part says calculate the average velocity and average speed for 0 to 30 minutes. Okay, so now as we have calculated, in 30 minutes the man will be going from home to market. Okay, so average velocity will be displacement, which is 2.5 kilometer, upon time, which is half hour. So you will get speed to be 5 kilometer per hour. Sorry, average velocity. Okay, now for average speed is distance upon time. Distance is same as displacement, that is 2.5 for 30 minutes upon time, that is half hour. So average speed will also come to be same. Now the second part is for 0 to 50 minutes. Now as we have calculated, in 50 minutes the man has returned back to his home. That means his displacement is 0. So for average velocity, displacement is 0, time is 5 by 6 hour, that is 50 minutes. I have just converted into hours. So average velocity will come to be 0 in this case. Now average speed will be total distance. Total distance is 2.5 plus 2.5 upon time, that is 5 by 6. See, this is the distance in going and this is the distance in coming back. So total distance upon time. So you will get average speed to be 6 km per hour in this case. Now for third case, it is given 0 to 40 minutes. See, in 30 minutes, we know the man has traveled 2.5 kilometers. Now for next 20 minutes, he is traveling with the speed of 7.5 km per hour. So to calculate distance traveled in more 10 minutes, because 30 minutes is we already know. So we will calculate distance traveled in 10 minutes, which is at a speed of 7.5 km per hour. So that distance will be 7.5 into 10 by 60. So you will get 1.25 kilometer, because this is speed and this is time. Okay, so now we have got distance. Now to calculate average speed. So average speed we have, for average velocity we have to calculate displacement. See, he has gone 2 kilometers to the market and then he has returned of this distance 1.25 kilometer. Okay, because after 30 minutes the man is returning back. So average velocity will be 2.5 minus 1.25, because this distance traveled is in opposite direction to this. So 2.5 minus 1.25 upon time, this will give you the average velocity. Now to calculate average speed is nothing but total distance traveled. So total distance traveled is 2.5 plus 1.25 upon time. So this will be the average speed in this case. Okay. Okay, the question number 15 says, when we take instantaneous speed or instantaneous velocity, their magnitude comes to be same. Why is it so? Okay. See, when we are talking about instantaneous speed or velocity, that means we are taking very small interval of time. Okay, so as we are taking very small interval of time, hence there is no difference between path length and displacement. If path length and displacement both are same, that means average speed and average velocity will come to be same. So this is the reason why for instantaneous speed or instantaneous velocity, these values comes to be same. Either their direction will be in opposite direction, it can be, but their magnitude will be same. Okay, so in question number 21, a graph is given to you, a position time graph is given, and the question asks, out of these 1, 2 and 3, time interval is same for all of them. So time interval is same for all the three intervals. The first part says in which period the average speed is maximum and in which speed average speed is in which part average speed is minimum. Okay, so now you know from the slope of the position time graph we get velocity. So if we see here, see, you can see these three, and if you clearly look, the slope is greatest in 3. This slope, this is approximately flat, so this slope is greatest. So if slope is greater, that means speed will also be greater. So we will have average speed maximum in 3, and out of these 3, minimum slope is for 2 because this is flat. Okay, so we can say minimum will be for 2. It is also asking for sign of speed, velocity. Okay, so now look here. If we draw a graph and the line is going upwards, that means we have a positive slope, and if the line is falling downwards, that means we have a negative slope. Okay, so now we know slope gives us velocity. So if you see here, the line is going up. For this also, line is going straight forward. That means for 1 and 2, slope will be positive. That means velocity will be positive. But for third, this line is coming downwards. That means the slope for this line will be negative, or you can say velocity for third will come to be negative. Okay. Okay, so after doing these topics, you can do question number 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 17 from your NCERT book. Thank you.